Let's freaking go. Taylen Green, balls out of control. Comment below your thoughts on the Arkansas Talisman. What a freaking game from him. We start off with a very interesting snag concept here on this third and Maumelle. And honestly, this ends up being a really good piece of quarterbacking, but even better wide receiver play. This isn't discussed enough publicly how difficult it is to catch a football through these shadows, right? So you're catching this football from shadow right into daylight. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of sunlight in Omega Blake's eyes. Bobby Petrino has been the best opening drive play caller in the SEC. Obviously, Heupel's been really good at this as well. It's a good piece of patient running. 76, the right tackles had a tough year overall. That's a really good block on the edge. And then you get a good lead block from the pulling guard Carmona. And guess what? It's off to the races. And all we need is Mike to make Turrentine miss here. Turrentine's been a very heavily criticized safety for Tennessee. He does a really good job here making the touchdown saver. And this is where it gets really difficult. Okay, you pull both the tight ends this time. Okay, you rarely see that. Okay, and you have a little hezzy block right here on the edge defender. Then you have another hezzy block right there where you're just getting a piece on this little wrap around here. Look at all this space. I mean, Petrino is a madman. He is absolutely positively insane. It's laughable how good he is. It is honestly laughable. Wow. So it wasn't the interceptions that ended up hurting Taylen in this game. It was the fumbles, and they were both avoidable. It's 1st and 10. You are getting around this backer. There's no need to try and throw this ball into the flats. Okay, just run around the guy. Okay, just run around him. Run around him. Or what you could do here, and this gets pretty gnarly, if you will, okay, because you're trying, the design of this is to let him go unblocked, and you throw it quickly into the flats, okay? Not the best design, okay? It's difficult. There's already two guys over here. That's not how you expected it to go. But it's against his body, right? You just can't throw that. I'm sorry. You just cannot throw it. It's a difficult play. It happens right in front of Bobby. You have to go find it. This is a good job by Raylen Sharpe getting back into it because this Tennessee defense is really good at scooping and scoring. So everybody needs to honestly be on their high horse. Carmona was and eventually is able to bring him down. Okay, so Tennessee is tired of Taylen Green zone reading them to smithereens. Okay, so Taylen's like, okay, you want to play me? I'm just going to hand it off to Braylon Russell. All right, and everybody else is being aggressive. Good block by 76, who had a tough day overall. Now Braylon Russell is clean through the hole. Okay, boom. Can we make the safety miss? We can. Can we make Turrentine miss? Guess what? We can't, but we do take him for a ride for a few extra yards up the field. God bless. God bless. These are the throws that'll get Taylen Green drafted. Okay, a very shaky draft profile for sure, but you see the leverage advantage right here. He's throwing the quick out. The corner sees it. Okay, this is why you've got to throw this quick. Okay, is it a little late? Sure, but this is better in terms of Taylen, long wind-up delivery. So your guy's going to take a big shot. Boom. Okay, Raylen after the drops and the issues versus Notre Dame, that's pretty impressive. Arkansas kicks a field goal. Tennessee kicks a field goal. And this is a sign of growth from Taylen Green. So to me, Omega Blake, he's not to Andrew Armstrong's level of excellence, but he's pretty daggum good. It is nice that Taylen hasn't just thrown the football to Omega Blake, right? He spread it around a little bit more this year, but this is his best throw. Taylen throws a really good sideline go ball. This is more so a great catch. Boom. All hands catch, 2 feet in bounds. Ridiculous. In 6, Taylen Green's in empty, and he elects to work the quick out to Raylen Sharpe. Once again, really decisive QB play. You know, with this linebacker inside, that there, unless his corner comes over or the safety is driving down, this out should be open. The ball is behind him. I would have been spooked by 8 as well, being right there. So I get why he put it there. But really good stuff, and it leads to an Arkansas tutty. This is dreadful. All right, so you're coming out of the 2-minute timeout, and if you've watched anything around Tennessee football, you know that they like to blitz, okay? So they're getting really exotic. They're running a twist here. They're bringing a corner off the edge. And honestly, all things considered, this gets picked up fine, except the twister is coming through unblocked on the A-gap, all right? If you take the next step as a QB, though, you can get out of this, all right? So we're right here. Let's just work this check down. It could still be thrown right here. It really can, but there's pressure right off the edge. Another thing about this, okay, the slot corner is right here. If you see that this mic is deoccupied, then right here, this shallow drag is probably going to be open eventually, okay? So if they're in man, it would have been nice to get here, okay? So, hate to see it, and the ball's out, okay? You get, huge sack, and it could have been worse, all right? You bring a slot corner blitz off the edge. Then you're also bringing a twist from the top here, and it's man-to-man cover one on the backside, okay? This just needs to get out into the flat now, all right? There's a lot of pressure. You still got plenty of time to work here, all right? Get it there, all right? There's no need to just spin out of every sack. You're not going to be able to spin out, run 20 yards backwards like he normally does. Just get this right here, okay? You break this one tackle, it's big gain, okay? Then he's also working the sideline as well. So just not good quarterbacking. Then obviously this backside dig is indeed open. Dig, drag, whatever. Looks like it's a shallow drag. So, yeah, I mean, there's unblocked A-gap pressure. This twist should have been picked up. But if the middle of the field is being deoccupied, you always want to work this as well. But it's a bad sack, one that could have been avoided. And then obviously it was also lost, the fumble, okay? You got to be able to pick it up. You just do, and he is able to pick it up and avoid a huge disaster. The single biggest play of this game is a Braylon Russell fumble. Ball security and fumbling. There's not many good offenses, and Arkansas's offense is a good offense that's had a fumbling problem quite like this one. It's really bad, okay? Now, what happened on this fumble? Well, I understand Braylon Russell's a big back, and we don't want to take his physicality away from him, but you'll see right here, he leans, I don't know, it might have been that he got hit helmet to helmet right here. Let me see, is this targeting? Oh, this did knock him in the back of the head. And if we want to get technical here, he is leading with the helmet here too. You still got to hold on to it. And look, I mean, he's holding his head. Look, helmet to helmet there. Leading with the crown. Y'all, that's targeting. How it's actually officiated now, oh boy. Ooh. I've thought about this decision all day on this 4th and 4, and I'm an aggressive 4th down decision maker. If Bobby is the coach, you want your program to be built. Lane's obviously going for this. Dan Campbell's going for it. So I'm fine with it. this ball is also there. It's just there is a lot of interior pressure given up by 76, who's a liability, right? And everybody wants it to work. Like, he's one of the few Arkansas natives that actually plays and starts on this team. But this could get there. Boom. Okay. I wish he would have just ripped it. Okay. There is a high likelihood, though, because of how much pressure there is, that this is getting batted down. Okay. So you had a running back helping him as well. Taylen decides to eat it. Now, you're running stops, and there's an out to this side. This is just how quarterbacking works. This is not NCAA Madden or whatever. It's so hard to go from here and then immediately scan, because you see he's still trying to get an angle to make this work. And could that still get there? It probably still does get done if he tries to rip it now. Okay? But because he went over here, he can't work back to the out to the backside either. Okay? So now he's extending it. They throw a flag. I didn't really see a hold. Whatever. And now you're in a mess. You're in a world of trouble. So Taylen extends it. It's on 4th down, so you really just want to make sure this goes in bounds. If it gets picked, you're actually getting bailed out with some good field position. But he throws it basically out of bounds, okay? And it actually did end up getting picked. He went out of bounds, though. 3rd and 3 Creeks. 3rd and West Fork. 3rd and Hampton. Once again, right tackle beaten pretty bad. It's not the worst here, and you do have a new right tackle in the game here, okay? So now Taylen rolls out to the left. 19's a good player for Tennessee, and you honestly just have to run this, and it gets stripped, and it's Tennessee ball. Okay. So now they have doubled up the score line here, and it's right tackle again, okay? Right tackle has been an issue for quite a few schools in the SEC. I'll leave it at that, all right? But you're just not going to win with that. And to be honest, the right guard got pummeled there as well. But, to each your own. We get to here. 3rd and 9. Let's see what Taylen decides to do. I actually forgot this play. And he hits Omega Blake on the dig, the end breaker. That's been their go-to play. And Blake almost cuts this back and turns this into something. So now they have doubled up the score line here. And it's right tackle again. Okay? Right tackle has been an issue for quite a few schools in the SEC. I'll leave it at that. All right? But you're just not going to win with that. And to be honest, the right guard got pummeled there as well. But, to each your own. We get to here. 3rd and 9. Let's see what Taylen decides to do. I actually forgot this play. And he hits Omega Blake on the dig, the end breaker. That's been their go-to play. And Blake almost cuts this back and turns this into something. Wow. All right, so there's quite a few Taylen scrambles I've taken out of this, because we all know he can scramble. This is just ridiculously good quarterback play. Once again, Bobby used the same idea or this overall same philosophy versus Memphis. Use your tight end as a lead blocker, then release him on a pass, okay? So they're thinking, hey, he switch releases with this tackle. He goes to the inside. He's definitely leading to block, right? No, he's slipping. This is actually something Tennessee does a better job of than basically anyone. Slipping their tight end, and it's floated in there just in time. I always cheer for receivers that have downright atrocious games. And Raylen Sharpe had a great bounce back. He was a leading reception getter, the leading yardage guy as well. And man, that was a good job. Cam Shanks also played quite a bit. I was able to listen to what's his name? Rick Schaefer in the pregame show. And I listened to a clip from Bobby Petrino saying that Courtney Crutchfield might start getting some playing time with all the injuries at receiver, and we didn't. Alrighty, this is just whew, whew. Someone give me a pillow for my lap. I mean, this is erotic quarterback play. I couldn't believe this. I don't know if he got lucky, but man, so Tennessee decides to do something that they don't do a lot of. They play something called cover 6. So they're playing cover 4 to this side. So this corner's bailing out and this safety's over the top of it. And they're playing cover 2 to this side. So cover 2 and cover 4 makes it cover 6. Okay. And a weak spot of this defense is something called a hole shot, which is the gap between a deep half safety and a cloud corner, if you will. So this hole shot's actually a little bit more difficult because this is into the boundary, the short side of the field, and even with it being into the boundary, the safety is shaded over in this direction, okay? So this is not an easy throw to make, and this corner got tired of us hitting outs, so he's thinking that we're throwing the out. Taylen, under some pressure here, is actually throwing the hole shot. Boom. Okay. Hits it with decisiveness, and that allows CJ to cut to the inside. We'd like to make that guy miss and go score, but still great throw. So somebody got mad at me for not using third and Van Buren yet. Really? Van Buren? Why? Van Buren? That's probably the worst town in Arkansas. I'm kidding. I still have never been to Van Buren. But let's go with Calico Rock here. Why not? What about another one? I'm looking at a few. I had to look up a ton. Let's go third and Jasper. This is really good quarterbacking, again, by Taylen Green. This is really good wide receiver play from Cam Shanks. Okay. Let's extend this play. Look at him right here. He looks to see where this DB is. Quick peek, and he's like, okay, I can find some open space. Let me just find the open space, drift into the end zone, and that's called finding the soft spot of the zone. Boom! Right on the checkerboard, Cam Shanks says, checkmate. All right, that's chess, but still, it's still a board like that. So what do we make of Taylen Green's performance? It was fantastic. Yes, 3 fumbles, 2 of which you lost. Those were bad. The 3rd and 30 fumble, I mean, what are you really going to do in that spot? You still shouldn't fumble. Mike Washington, another elite game. And you really dominated time of possession. They had 9 more penalties than you did. But those turnovers and the explosive play battle, all those things, Tennessee being a better team and at home, I'm not shocked you covered at all either. I thought you guys would play very spirited. So how do you bounce back from this? We shall see. Now, if you want to see the Arkansas defensive breakdown, boom, it is Power Hour SEC. Boom. Tonight we are doing Lamaine.